Okay, so Series 1 Lancia Fulvia 1966 wheel bearing change. So I've taken the wheel off clearly, I've taken the calipers out, and I've unstaked this outer retaining ring, which is on pretty tight, so I'm going to use a torque multiplier to try and get it off. Trick is to try and hold the tool in at the same time. Oh, easy. So that tells me someone's not put this on very tight. So this is a 3 1/3 multiplier, which is useful not just for taking off when it's immensely strong, but you can also put it on to a known torque, and these are going to be done between 280 and 330 Newton meters, and they have to be quite precise, otherwise there are certain locking pins that won't go. This one doesn't have to be that tight because the locking tabs basically keep it in place. It's the next one, and the rear hub retainer, bearing retainer, they're the real monsters. Okay, now I should better pull this out somehow. This is a little vernier locking ring. By a pin. That pin intersects the inner locking ring, which should be really tight. It's essentially holding it. It doesn't just hold your axle in place, it preloads the bearing. There we go. So it's got a little key to go in those keyways. Loosen it a little bit. That's it. Okay. Very crunchy. Did the other side last weekend, that was not quite as bad as this actually, but it made a big difference to the noise in the car, so hoping this is going to be an even bigger win. Okay, so it should be a bit better located. Let's give it a go now. Oh, that's on tight. The action bar's digging into the ground. Right. There we go. Amazing bit of kit this. As you know, it's a nightmare without it. But now, even though it's only just gone, that's it. the other side was taken off last year to do a CD boot. I'm not sure when this was ever last taken off. The locking nut seems fairly new. So. Right. Thread's in good condition. This is the second most difficult nut to take off. The bearing retainer is the one of legends. A bit of free play in the drive shaft, but not too much that we can't use a puller to get this off. Okay. Can reuse this if you want. Right. Okay, homemade hub puller. Let's give this a go. She's going. Oh. It's kind of broken the I used to push in, so that's got to come out. Now I've got a bit more distance, I can put something a bit stronger in there. Okay. Can't see that yet, so next stage you've got to take the drive out, which I'm not going to film because it's just tedious undoing 6 bolts that come out of the transmission. So this one's the big one. Right, so let's take this drive out. So there are 6 bolts on the coming out of the differential of the gearbox, and a bit of a pain to get to on this side because the engine. But what you've got to do is, there's no way of retraining the drive shaft, so you stick it in neutral, easily manoeuvre it around till you can get to a nut, a bolt, stick it in reverse as I've done. Take that out, I've got canine help here. Take that bolt out, into neutral, spin it again, back into reverse, and do that 6 times. It's also the way I refit the drive shafts. So now this should lift up, a bit more stuck for space. Then on the other side I've got the clutch linkage and everything. But essentially the shock is in the way. That's it, drive shaft out. crunchy. Don't think it's as bad as the other side. And I know when I changed that last weekend, 70%, 80% of the humming noise went, so that must have been the worst, but that is not a happy bunny. So the new bearings in the freezer has been for a week or so. It should be a press fit, so I just want to guarantee it'll go in easily. So at the back we've got this thing, retaining ring. It's got 6 cutouts for a clip. There's actually a little couple of holes here at the front of the hub. You can see this spike goes into. So I'm going to go in the back. I'm not going to film this, but I'm going to clean all the gunk out and make sure that, where has it gone? This tool can fit in the 6 notches, and then we'll come back and I'll get the torque multiplier out and go for the real big one. Right, so before I fit the torque multiplier, because I might cover stuff up, so I'll give you a view of what we're doing here. So there was no retaining ring, and it was actually quite clean, so I managed to just gently tap the tool into place, so that's really firmly bound. What you've got to be careful though, we're going to be applying torque this way, it'll try and lift out. So I fit a couple of spanners using the holes for the caliper, and then a wooden sash clamp to hold those in place, and I've just used a little bit of a crowfoot spanner there just to apply a bit of pressure. It won't stop it turning, but it'll stop it popping out. So let's get the multiplier on, take a deep breath and go for it. So I've had to move things around a little bit because the geometry meant that my breaker bar was interfering with the shock absorber, so I've had to undo the tie rod to get a bit more clearance. So here goes. Oh, wow. Wow, wow, wow. 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 That's body weight. Not even a tinkle. Right. Right, plan B.